Good afternoon, May 1st, 2010. I'd like to present to you about 3 years worth of research that I've done concerning our problems that we're facing today. And I'd like to do that in 10 minutes or less. The three parts of the presentation. The first part is an overview of the problems that we're facing. Second part will be an overview of the political spectrum, both the one that we were taught and what I believe is the true political spectrum that we're facing in reality. And thirdly is an overview of the big problem that we're facing, the core problem, which I believe will show that the many problems that we have today are only symptoms of this larger problem. So what are those problems or symptoms that we're facing today? The most common ones that people have told me would be a decrease in the value of our dollar, increase in government in general, and decrease in our education. There's many more, as you well know, and I ask that you choose one or two that you feel most passionate about and keep that in your mind and see if you can relate that to the larger problem, the core problem that I'll be showing at the end of the presentation. So, political spectrum. The one that I was taught in school. We have a left and a right. Right being the Republican Party or conservative, and the left being the Democratic Party or liberal. If you go to the far right, they say you get into Nazism. If you go to the far left, communism. Well, this is not a true look at the political spectrum, I believe, because there's no point of reference. This is more spectrum of collectivism. So the true political spectrum of reality we would use as a base point or point of reference would be government control. So on the left you have total government control, and on the right no government. So total government here and no government there. That you can break into 5 different sections. The one on the left with the total government would be a monarchy, or rule by one. Next would be oligarchy, rule by few. Further down would be democracy, ruled by the majority. And then republic, ruled by law. And finally anarchy, no rule. Now with a monarchy, there's no true form of monarchy where only one person is ruling. There's always a cabinet or advisors behind the scenes, so we can cross them out, put them over to the oligarchy, ruled by few. Democracy, again, over time the power will be refined to only a few individuals, a small number. So, ruled by a few, back to oligarchy. Anarchy, no rule, is only a transitional phase between different parts of the political spectrum. A very quick change in government control. So we can cross them out. That leaves us with 2 choices. A republic or oligarchy, ruled by few. Now the philosophy behind oligarchy is collectivism. And the philosophy behind a republic is individualism. So those are the 2 choices we truly have. Do we want collectivism or do we want individualism? And I believe that we should stop fighting left and the right, the Democrats and Republicans. That's the question to look at. Do you want a collectivist state or do you want individual freedom and rights? And we've started here with a republic, and we've moved over to democracy, ruled by majority, which I thought we were in a democracy. That was what the founders intended, but it's not. because if the majority rules, the minority, they have no rights. And I believe we're quickly transitioning over to an oligarchy. So, collectivism, individualism, two choices. Collectivism, I believe, is being pushed by a very powerful and influential few. And this will be the third part of the presentation, showing the larger picture, the big problem. So, if we break society down into different aspects, and I'll just choose one for right now, being government. And we'll make a pie graph. That's government there. And we break that down into further segments with more and more influence as you come up, and more people being influenced as you go down. So, who would be the most influenced? Citizens, people like you and I. Above them, let's say city council. Again, this is very general, but you get the idea. Above city council, perhaps a mayor, and then perhaps a governor, Congress, and then the president. The big question, is the president being influenced by someone more influential above him? I believe he is. I believe all governments are around the world. So the big question, who is that? Well, to sum it up, I believe what is at the very tip of this pyramid is pure evil. And that pure evil has influence below them, which would be the international bankers. There's different names that we have for that dark pyramid there. The New World Order, the insiders, the powers that be, the international bankers, of course. And you can further refine it, but again, this is just the general picture. So if we incorporate the rest of society into this concept, we have an acronym, GERMS, with two E's. And the G is, of course, government. E, economy. Second E, education. R, religion. M, media. S, science. So through these different aspects of society, they're able to control each segment. So here we have the economy, education, religion, media, and science. And if we incorporate the circles of influence, getting more and more influence as you get to the center, you have that dark, corrupt core influencing every aspect of society. And in a very general and quick presentation, I believe this is the core problem. We have pure evil influencing those groups and organizations that have global influence, such as the UN, Council on Foreign Relations, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, among others. So, going back to the beginning of the presentation, I'd like to have you recall the one or two problems that you are most passionate about, and see if they fit into this diagram. Are they symptoms of a much larger problem? Are the problems that you have, are they with the government, or the economy, or education, or religion, media, science? And of course, these can be broken down further into other aspects, other different types of science, natural science, global warming, media, local media, and national media, different types of religion. Ask yourself if the problems that you find most passionate about, if they fit into this diagram. and fight for those problems. Try and resolve those that you can do locally in your community, but understand what the big problem is. This corrupt core is only successful because they're not in the open. People don't know about it. They don't understand. So please educate yourself and educate others of what that big problem is, and we can fight these guys. Thank you.